Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. That's the answer. This is the Appleton Oak. I'm Mason Quinn. Guys, tonight we are finishing off the trilogy. We're taking a look at 2021's The Kingsman. Now, the first two were awesome. Matthew Vaughn is just a great director, like I said. If I would have known he was behind these, I would have watched him a long time ago because I absolutely loved Layer Cake. But I'm excited to jump into this one and see how it ends for now.
Well, is he behind this one?
I hope he's the director again. Otherwise, I'm
yes,
going to
he
be
was.
disappointed.
He was. He was. I just wanted to make sure now that he, otherwise they came at us. But no, I surprisingly have not seen this one. This is the prequel, so that's why I kind of maybe hesitated a little bit. But I'm definitely ready, willing, and able to watch to see how the Kingsman came to be.
Yeah, the first two movies were so much fun. Just a really unexpected joy to watch here with the guys. So I'm kind of glad you hadn't seen them before because it just kind of added to this little journey that we've taken. But it's always fun getting an origin story, and it's so cool seeing all the gadgets and this and that, and they did give us a little bit of background as far as how it all got started back in World War I when you had a bunch of wealthy people whose sons had perished and they had nothing to do with their inheritances, and hence the Kingsman was founded. But this is going to be a really interesting movie. Glad it's the same director, but really excited to get this one started.
There we go. Here's a first time for all of us, and I cannot wait. So without further ado, let's go. Hey, look at this guy.
Hey! Look at that.
Look at those.
What
look
is
at the
that?
pants.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. Not what I thought it was at all.
No, that is a mass grave over on the other side.
I'm here on behalf of the Red Cross, and I'd like to speak with General Kitchener.
Security is paramount right now. It's a secret that you're visiting with the General.
Time has not been kind here.
Well, you'll have to explain that to Emily.
That guy's always a villain.
Why are we here, Mother?
It's important that people born into privilege lead by example. That's why your father and I are patrons of the Red Cross.
Telling you can't trust that guy. Ever since Last Action Hero.
Well, open the gates! Bring in those supplies!
Emily! Oh,
right
we got
in
it
the
in
leg.
the leg.
Jesus.
Oh, they're up in the high grass.
Going to hell, Kitchener.
Oh!
I promise.
Is that the mansion?
Afternoon, everyone. Ready for your maiden flight yet, Shola?
Well, if God wanted man to fly, he would have given him wings.
Yes, I suppose. Try Father's car. You haven't any wheels. Nanny Watkins, my study in 5 minutes.
Oh, is that Maggie Grace?
No.
It looks like her. You guys know me. I'm terrible with actors.
Might be Lars Ulrich.
Could be.
Yeah, maybe.
Your opinion behind closed doors is one thing, Polly, but I will not tolerate such demonstrations in front of my household.
Do you really think you can keep secrets from me? You've turned down Cousin Felix's invitation for Conrad to stay with him in Russia.
I'm sorry. I should have discussed it with you.
You haven't even offered me a drink.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Can you fight with only one arm?
Oh, yes. If I had someone left to fight.
Oh. All over the place. Oh.
Shola, do you really think a knife can beat a bullet?
Just going to
Now
do that
clean yourselves
offhand?
up before this afternoon's appointment.
Oh,
I'm
No
thinking she's...
warning?
that far of a shot, that accurate with an old revolver.
Offhand?
My father also bought
Hey,
me
look
here
at
for a
that.
justice. On it.
Oh, there it is.
Great.
Exactly the
Fitting one
same.
number one is ready for you.
I wish your mother could see you now. She would have been so proud. Our ancestors, they were terrible people. Back then, to be called a gentleman would have been a death sentence, not the mark of honor it is today. Kitchener.
Oh,
here he is. The villain.
Morton, look after young Conrad for us, will you?
It'll be my pleasure, my lord.
These guys up to.
That looks familiar.
That's the room where
They have the meetings.
The meetings, yeah.
Walls have ears in Whitehall these days. I'm worried that Ferdinand's political ambitions may be putting him in danger. I need you to do me a small favor.
What sort of favor? Conrad.
Ooh, look at that place. Nope.
Just
Hard
one
pass.
rope or cable?
Can we talk about how they got all that up there in the first place?
It's looking pretty rickety.
I have a Fabergé egg made especially for you. A little replica of Angus, your favorite goat.
Take a seat.
Is that Voldemort?
Trust is having confidence in the honesty of another. Who do I trust? Animal.
Oh, look at the guy on the right.
Can I trust you to behave like them? Put them on, and you will share in our successes. Break my trust, and inside you will find my final gift to you. My mole in the British government informs me that Kitchener is concerned for the safety of the Archduke Ferdinand.
The guy who plays the Russian, he's in a ton of stuff too. I can't think of his name, but he's an amazing character actor.
Oh, is that dynamite he's putting in?
Yeah. Well, they're going
supposed to be a flask?
They're going after the Archduke.
Now I understand why you accepted my shooting invitation.
Well, only a fool ignores a friend's warning, Freddy.
Turning you down is a hard task. I will give you my decision tonight.
Good.
Uh-oh.
There he is.
Wow, good work by a
Good with,
kid.
Umbrella.
Looks like you failed, buddy.
Yeah, it's not going to go well for him.
I shouldn't have brought you here.
I just protected you. I don't need protecting.
Yes, you do, Conrad. I'm sorry, but you think you know what the world is like, but the truth is you're just a boy who has no idea what men are capable of.
What, watching my mother die wasn't a good enough introduction?
Oh.
Ouch. That's harsh.
I mean, who better for him to learn from than his dad?
Yeah.
You know, you think he would want to give him the tools and the abilities.
Yeah, it's son's all his dad's got, you know? I mean...
Oh. Final gift.
Yep.
Oh, no.
He's going to get a second chance.
Get this car moving now.
Oh. Oh, you got both.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't catch that right away.
I didn't know that he got
both.
her. I didn't see that he got her right away. But the way like she reacted right away, I was like, oh no.
So, historically,
We're safe now, aren't we?
Yes, but for how long? Already there are rumors the Austrians are mobilizing their army. You see, years ago there were 3 young cousins. Their grandmother was Queen Victoria, who kept them in line. Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany, Tsar Nicholas of Russia, and King George of England.
But surely they've matured enough to avoid a war.
And thankfully we have our own King George to help keep the peace.
Get 2 copies of this photograph made and have them delivered with these letters immediately.
Sir! Eric!
My cousin.
Oh.
My cousin, the King of England, strongly suggests we do nothing.
Remember how Prince George used to enjoy it when your English mother and her English doctors would torture you?
King George has always protected our interests. Why would we go to war over something so trivial?
they're all in on it.
Ignore the English king.
If I want a war,
then I will have it.
As Russia's ally, we have no choice but to join this war.
I don't understand. The Kaiser and the Tsar have both ignored the king's wishes.
The Prime Minister is waiting, and we're late. It would be my honor to volunteer.
Honor?
Fine word, John Conrad. Legally, you're not old enough to join up.
Still young enough to believe it's an honorable thing to die for one's country.
Not even I could have imagined a war like this. 2 short years.
Wow, that's a crazy shot.
Do you know who hates King George more than the Kaiser? Me, the English monarchy, has oppressed my beloved Scotland.
Oh, here we go. Now we're getting it.
We will pull Russia out of our war to destroy England.
Thy will be done, my ship.
They've started conscription.
Yes, I'm well aware of that, Conrad. This is not a war. Do you understand? It's not like any war that we've ever seen.
I don't care. I should be fighting.
It's not fighting. It's dying.
There was a lot of that same excitement in All Quiet on the Western Front from the other side, where, you know...
In the village.
It's the symbol of a coward. Reputation is what people think of you. Character is what you are. But soon I began to question what right we had to take the land, riches, and the lives of people who were only defending their homeland.
I mean, I could see the dad's point here. I mean,
Yeah,
it was...
Man.
This boy is a symbol of the soul of Russia. You must pull out of the war to save your son's life.
This is nonsense.
My dear cousin Conrad, in these difficult times, I'm not sure whom I can trust.
Oh, I bet what he gave him was only temporary.
I hope your father's influence can help.
I suggest we assemble an elite squad of men. We go to Russia, and we sort it out ourselves.
Agreed.
May I at least go with you?
Conrad, you know, your father made me swear that I would
protect my son at all costs.
Keeps showing
you knew he was going to be there.
Russia.
Why?
To help cousin Yusupov deal with Rasputin.
Kitchener, have you killed so many men that you're now relying on boys to run your military intelligence?
How dare you speak
Shut up, Morton.
Let's just hope we don't make such a mess of things in Russia.
Definitely more of a soldier than I am a sailor.
Well, go outside, man, and get some air.
That's not a good idea.
I say that's not much better.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be feeling much better.
I also don't think he's...
You think he's up to no good?
Yep.
Oh, no.
May God forgive me.
Oh, that'll do it.
First Ferdinand and now Kitchener. This was not an accident. How can you be so calm?
I wanted to apologize for our recent fracas. Conrad is a fine young man.
He was betrayed. We must do something.
Respect your wishes and do everything I can. I remain your friend, Kitch.
Doesn't need to protect me. Will not redeem your own failure to protect Mother.
Oh, wow, brutal.
I'm sorry, Father.
No. I'm sorry. Follow me.
There it is.
There's a little bit of the music playing.
Oh, the Bat Cave.
About time.
Take a look. That we cannot rely on politicians to do their job.
Oh, I was thinking he would lose his limp. Like, it was all boy.
Yeah, I'm good.
My reputation is of a man not wanting to be involved with domestic servants everywhere who are seen but not heard. A network of domestics such as the world has never seen. Our people are actually in the room.
Very clever.
I visited Gavrila Princip in his prison in Sarajevo.
Oh, the cane.
Yep.
Ooh. The leg doesn't seem to be bothering him there, does it?
Oh.
Or not?
There you go.
Why did you kill my friend?
It was the alcohol.
Princip's ring proves he was not acting alone.
Your cousin's letter made us extend our network to Russia.
One life to save millions.
The only way to honor the vow I made to your mother is to break the vow I made to myself. It is time for us to kill Grigory Rasputin.
Putin has accepted an invitation to your cousin's Christmas ball. Putin's weakness for sweet cakes and even sweeter boys.
Creepy?
Will entice Rasputin with private dessert in the summer room.
Polly, get baking.
Yeah, don't forget the poison.
Get him to eat the cake. Understand?
Yes, Father.
Our guest of honor, Father Rasputin.
Is he gonna make a grand old entrance?
Yep.
What's he rolling in?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't even look like he's walking.
It doesn't.
No. He's doing like the Undertaker entrance at Mania that one year.
He's on.
He just needs
one
some smoke.
One of those little square scooter things we used to have in gym class.
Oh God!
Roll over your fingers all the time.
Smashing other people's, breaking their fingers. Well, there's a bloody body.
Are you waiters or Englishmen?
Are you a monk or a ballet dancer? I see you've mastered the Berioska glide. Why don't you glide over there and get me a f***ing drink?
Oh, it's a glide, a walk. It's like a forward moonwalk of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for someone who can help me gain an audience with the Tsar.
I only make decisions when my stomach is full or my balls are empty.
Jesus.
What is it that you Russians do that an Englishman can enjoy?
But tonight I do not want to teach. Change seats with your father.
But, I need you to eat this cake.
So I thought Rick wants us to swap places.
Kind of an awkward Christmas party, huh?
Yeah.
Put your leg in my lap. I may be able to fix it. Not here, somewhere private, of course.
Here?
Well, there's the cake. I know it's poisonous, but man, it looks good.
Take your trousers off and sit down.
I will make the room warm for you.
Sorry, that looks like a classic 80s comedy.
Blood is life.
I mean, now you could get that fixed, but...
And I can teach it where to fall.
Ooh.
This cake is good, no?
We can eat it together when I put my trousers back on.
Want to do this properly? I will need energy.
All right. Mission accomplished, right?
Well, we'll see what happens.
A little on your...
got a little...
There's a little schmutz. there.
Is it actually working?
It's that noise. Let me lick your wounds. Yes. Trust me.
Oh, God. The Tsar needs to stay in the war.
What makes you think he won't?
Oh, my God.
It's actually working.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he got the poison out of him?
I apologize. Your cake did not agree with me.
So does this dude, actually have some kind of weird powers?
We must ice your leg.
Healed?
Yes.
Yes.
Walk to me. Job. Job. 2 minutes and you will be healed. You will be healed. A lot of almonds in Bakewell tart.
Oh, because remember.
If you really knew my reputation, now I take a little poison for breakfast to keep myself immune.
Okay.
Time to dance on your graves.
Rhys,
Oh, jeez.
Dancing sword fighting. Oh, I thought he had him there.
Oh, no.
Oh.
He
Remember they had that poison.
Remember he was just droplets,
he was doing something there.
Gave him the full dose.
Do it.
You're a terrible shot, Harry.
Beautiful boy.
What the hell?
Oh, got him.
Yeah, it's just a
shoulder, though.
Shoulder.
Is he gonna
collarbone.
snap the blade?
Ooh. Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah. Oh, that'll do it.
Should be it.
Yeah, that combination will do it. Boy, Rasputin was something else.
Wow,
I
awkward.
knew he wasn't going to go
and intense
easily.
Thank you. You saved my life.
And you mine.
What about Shola?
Hey, there he is.
There he is.
I was going to say, she had to join the party.
Yep.
She got him.
Why is it that boys are always so messy? Time to go.
I'm glad we didn't lose him. I was worried. I was worried.
Where Rasputin failed. I get Russia out of my war!
Your problem will be finding my equal to balance from the right.
Interesting.
Today your father broke his vow of pacifism.
Happy birthday to you.
You changed out the ingredients and cleaned those mixing bowls, right?
I hope so.
Oh, Jesus.
A little bit of the bubbly.
Oh.
A little bit of the bub.
You proved yourself a man, and you've made us all very proud. Happy birthday, Conrad.
Happy birthday.
Got to assume this is 18? Is that?
That's what I would think, yeah. 'Cause they
We're
said
assuming.
He wasn't old enough to join.
There's nothing you can do to stop me now. All I ask for is your blessing, at least.
But you're asking for the one thing that I cannot and I will not give you.
I mean, you could hang out with your dad and be like a super spy.
Yeah, like, come on.
Our naval blockade around England has sunk another American passenger ship, and if they join the war on England's side, we will be defeated. But if you send this, it will mitigate the risk.
He'll always be Nicky Lauder to me.
Send this immediately.
No.
The Kaiser's top-level encoding. We have a priority 1 intercept. We need this code cracked pronto.
Oh, there's the servants getting all the info.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Rita.
This code is what the Kaiser has been using.
Nice.
I'll need a lot more information. Thank you.
Here's your key. Direct from Germany.
Is the 8 a Z or is it an R?
She got it cracked?
I've cracked the code. He proposes an alliance with Mexico. Germany wants to divert America's attention, so they're asking Mexico to invade America.
So when President Wilson sees this, then he has no choice, but he has to enter the war.
And the war will be over.
Well done, you.
Hollander, you know how many boys' lives you've saved with this telegram. Now that Conrad's safety is assured, to peace in our time.
To peace in our time.
I'm not doing a damn thing till I have undeniable proof. Statesman on the rocks, please.
Statesman. Nice.
On the rocks.
Lucky man. You've been assigned back to London.
Sir, there must be some mistake.
Fortune favors the brave, or those under the king's gaze.
Yeah, he knows what's going on.
Find somebody the same height and weight.
Make a trade.
What's your name?
Hey!
Lance Corporal Reed, sir.
Conrad has sent me to see the Duke. According to Conrad, I'm Lancelot.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Who are you?
Lance Corporal Reed of the Black Watch, sir. This will explain it better than I can.
Oh, it's a note from Conrad.
I've swapped places with Archie Reed. He's a good man who is simply following my orders. Tomorrow I finally fulfill my wish to go to the front. And in the meantime, I enclose a poem, which I thought you might appreciate.
And towards our distant rest began to trudge.
Jesus.
Man. Just a bombed out mess.
Run up!
I think I'd rather be wearing a helmet than a beret.
That runner was actually a British spy. Our country needs what he was carrying, and I therefore need 6 volunteers. Very good, lad. You 5, 1 step forward. March!
Not exactly a volunteer.
Voluntold.
Not at all.
If they hear us from the trenches, we'll be fired upon from both sides.
Oh, he's got a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's got a machine gun there.
Oh, they're gonna go hand to hand.
Oh, gee.
Guy thinks he's Merle Dixon. Well, I mean, we know he's good with a knife, so hopefully things work out for him here. Oh.
Please.
Sorry. Oh, nice. I was gonna say he went toe to toe with
yeah.
What's his face?
Ooh. Oh.
Did he end up by that
British
soldier?
Yeah, he was trying to get the info, maybe.
First time out here, lad. Thank God for the Union Jack, eh?
Whoa.
Come over here and help me out. I'm freezing.
Like those I knew as I wanted. I didn't listen.
I need to get this to High Command. Contents could help end this bloody war. I suggest you finish the mission.
Jesus Christ, you're amazing!
You better ask him. He'll explain everything.
Oh.
We need to get us to High Command immediately.
Is that your best Scottish accent? You're not Archie Reed. And I've been looking for him all night. So who are you?
I'm not Archie Reed.
Fucking German spy.
I'm Conrad.
Oh, what?
Your son was killed in action, son.
Oh, he feels like he let his wife down.
If in some smothering dreams his hanging face, like a devil's, sick of sin, incurable sores on innocent tongues, it is sweet and proper to die for one's country.
I, Nikolai Alexandrovich Romanov, have announced the throne for myself and my descendants through this instrument of abdication immediately.
Well, that's where Lenin took over.
The documents Conrad recovered turned out to be the German ambassador's original handwritten telegram that I cracked. It's the concrete proof America needed.
Conrad succeeded where we all failed.
using a distraction to your own advantage. While your plan for Russia has been a great success, my plan to keep America out of the war has backfired. Time for you to work your magic on the president.
Boy, does that guy seem like a little bit like Mark Strong? I mean, who was Merlin in the other one? I mean, he looks...
Oh, jeez.
It's Scotch time.
Russia's pulled out of the war. The British Empire faces imminent defeat. America still refuses to join.
Got to him as well.
The Kaiser's blockade is working.
I'm afraid then, sir, that England is doomed.
I wanted to give you this. For Conrad.
Enough of this self-pitying poppycock. He's watching. Be the man your son would have been. Regretfully, I can no longer remain in your service.
I do not accept your resignation. I will accept a very strong cup of tea.
Oh, I like that they putting in the little bit of the Kingsman.
You know, I
the
still
Kingsman
think
music.
I still think Archie has a role to play here because he's still hanging around.
Hope so. I mean, I don't think they would have showed him at the funeral for nothing, too.
Yeah.
Looking better, Your Grace.
Well, glasses too. Feeling better. Looking good, Eggsy. Feeling better.
The president hasn't been himself.
This may be the proof I asked for. Douglas, get me a statesman on the rocks now!
And ignoring all advice to go to war. And she suggests we make an unannounced visit at 3 o'clock.
Right. Good afternoon. Please inform the ambassador the Duke of Oxford is here to see him. Why did you kill my friend?
It was the alcohol.
Your time, Mr. Ambassador.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help admiring your scarf.
It's very rare.
Do you know the test of a truly pure cashmere?
A ring?
Yet you do not wear one.
Mistaken.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Now tell me who's behind this, or so help me, you'll never breathe again.
Oh.
Ah. Ambassador? Is she dead? No. She'll be fine. And so will you, as long as we have an honest conversation.
It's Stanley Tucci.
Oh, okay.
Remember him from good old Divergent series.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out.
He's the charismatic reporter.
Yeah.
And is now blackmailing us to not even think about entering the war.
Well, I suggest you interrogate her.
This is Kashmir from the Camilleri Goode. Mr. Collins, Kashmir book number 1, please. Thank you.
Oh, what? Wait, what? What's in those books?
We're going into the Kashmir business.
Devil's Tower, Wyoming.
Yeah.
No, it's not really.
How did you get the stuff to the top? They have a pulley system.
I can see 6 men guarding the lift. If these guards are alerted, then I don't think we'll make it up. This is called a parachute.
Is it like a bunch of bobby pins and stuff?
Shola will jump out. You fire this flare, by which time I'll have landed the plane, made my way over to the bottom of the lift while...
He's still...
What? Nope.
But I cannot jump out of an aeroplane.
Yes, well, I appreciate your fear of heights, but I am the only one who can fly.
You just have to land yourself.
Would be bad form to ask a man to do something that I wouldn't do myself.
Or is he gonna... I'm wondering if he's gonna ask...
That is a small target.
Oh, I'm sure that'll be fine. It's not moving around at all. Barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience. This is a parachute. Ooh.
Oh, that's a mess.
That's making me dizzy just watching it.
Oh, wait,
that looked like that was gonna whap him.
We're getting close here.
Oh,
Jesus.
Oh.
Look at
The
how it's
goat.
down there.
Oh.
Oh, totally sheer ice.
Hey!
Oh, that's where it came from. Ooh. Yeah, that thing is gonna go.
Just all nonchalant.
Hard pass. Normally when you do that chimney style climb, it's much closer.
Yeah.
I've seen it on American Ninja Warrior, just not laid out like that.
Yeah, it's not getting any easier.
Oh, come on.
He jumps on the goat's back. Oh, remember it like they like
head button.
Yeah. There you go. Get it to pull you back up.
Don't.
It's all right now.
Where Martha is. Because I sent her to the American embassy and she hasn't been seen since. Make sure the new president is in our pocket. Go on.
Is that Ogre?
Nah.
Get to the lift. I'll cover you.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Does you still have the one in your foot?
Oh.
Oh. Nice.
Get on that counterweight!
Oh. Oh, he's done for.
Oh.
That'll do it.
Do you have the film?
I have the negative in my hand, Your Grace.
But the cause of all this mayhem is still in there.
Oh,
right.
That was nice.
The Duke of Oxford. Good day to you, sir. Aristocrats like you stole my parents' mill in Scotland when I was a lad.
Oh,
well, that'll do it.
The sound of silence. What say we end this shite as gentlemen? Manners maketh man.
Oh,
it is. Oh, okay. It's the other guy.
Oh. Kitcher's
yeah, his assistant.
I've spoken like a true traitor.
As far as I'm concerned, his blood, that's on your grubby hands.
And you've killed millions.
What say one more for good measure?
Oh, he caught the bullet.
Oh, oh. No, 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 no.
Watch the one-horned goat come and take this old dude out.
His horn?
It's the goat.
A good horn.
It remembered.
Oh.
You can't do it. It goes against your every belief.
Only now I have become the man that my son would have been.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Oh.
Yeah.
How are we going to get down?
Exactly.
Britain thanks you for ensuring that I didn't meet the same fate as my cousins. What happened to Nicholas was despicable.
It was, sir. Would you meet me tomorrow at Kingsman, 3 o'clock?
A tailor's shop?
Yes, sir. What happened to this generation of young men must never happen again. What the world needs is an organization that can channel its resources towards preserving peace, the Kingsman Agency. My code name will be Arthur.
You know, she is going to join. Galahad.
I am Lancelot.
Bedivere. I am Percival. And this is Merlin. And long live the Kingsman.
Our right hand now needs strengthening.
Oh, we know who
Don't
that
be
is.
shy.
It is an honor, Comrade Lenin.
Stalin? It's got to be Stalin,
No.
right? Joseph Stalin.
Somebody else.
Adolf Hitler.
The King's Man, and where it all started. And boy, you know, this one was definitely had a different feel than the others. I was making a ton of notes about this one, and the big one that I had was that, you know, it really didn't even feel like a Kingsman movie. Gosh, I mean, really, until we got to that fight scene on the top of, I'll call it Devil's Tower, for lack of a better term, to know where it is. You know, that's when we kind of got the cool shots and the fight scenes and the music. Up to that point, it felt more almost like a tweaked documentary. I had brought up All Quiet on the Western Front, and for me, World War I is one of the most fascinating events in history. I'm a little rusty on some of my history about it, but it really felt like it was more about that, more so than the Kingsman.
Failed history class.
And we did have the awesome fight scene with Rasputin that I didn't know what was going on there. Like, I didn't know if Rasputin legit had some weird powers, and that Oxford was being coerced somehow. So that kind of threw me off a little bit, but it was still an awesome scene. I liked how they almost did a bit of Tarantino with some of the historical things that they had and changed and tweaked a little bit. That's always kind of a lot of fun to see in movies, when you sort of know the real history and then you see a movie that goes in and just tweaks it a little bit. It's always kind of fun to play the what if a little bit. And, again, getting back to it didn't really feel like a Kingsman movie. We didn't have those quick chop scenes, the cameras kind of spinning around. We didn't get a lot of that till the end. So, again, that threw me for a loop a little bit. Still enjoyable nonetheless, and a lot of fun. I mean, Ralph Fiennes is awesome in everything he does. You couldn't have picked a better guy to kick this movie off with. And, God, I'm going to butcher his name, but he's been in everything and delivers. Djimon Hounsou. Sorry, guys. He deserves a lot more respect than that, but he is awesome in everything he does. I've seen him in a ton of movies, and it's like he just keeps popping up. And, of course, we had Stanley Tucci in there, who is really good in his role. We saw him in a few other things. And Aaron Taylor Johnson, good to see him as well. But from an overall standpoint, to dive into the actual movie a little bit, like I said, it didn't feel like a Kingsman, felt like a more of a historical film about trying to avoid World War I. And once they kind of started dropping hints a little bit as to what was going on with the dates and everything, we're like, oh, okay, I see where we're headed in this one. And, you know, a lot of just what you would have imagined back then were young men wanting to go fight for their country, and, you know, the parents trying to be, or, you know, parents who maybe had seen war and battles being like, you know, it's not what you think, and it's, you know, maybe I know better. And of course, you know, the youth wanting to go and fight for their country. So, you know, that was a huge part of the movie. I mean, gosh, that was probably 50% of the movie was the internal struggle with, you know, Oxford and his son. And if you guys have seen All Quiet on the Western Front on Netflix, I highly recommend it. I couldn't wait to see it. I didn't know if we were going to do it for the channel, but I had to watch it. And one of the big takeaways in that movie is after both sides were done fighting, they just were both like, what do we even do this for? You know, there was no glory in it. Nobody got anything. Nobody won. They were fighting this trench warfare for a couple of meters and nobody won, and all these people lost their lives. So that one was something I didn't expect to have in this movie. But, you know, overall, Kingsman was a lot of fun. Like I said, I can't rate it as high as the other ones just because it felt like a completely different movie that almost stands out on its own, but nonetheless, still very good and very enjoyable. So I will give The Kingsman a 3.75 out of 5 answers. A lot of fun, but it wasn't up to snuff like the others in terms of the film that I expected.
Well, the thing is, like with the first two, you have Colin Firth and you have Taron Egerton. Like, they own it, and then Mark Strong is the Merlin, which I did love that he was the original Merlin, which I thought was awesome. I loved all the callbacks and all the little, like, they made the music. They have the same music, but kind of made it for that time. So I thought that was pretty smart to do. But yeah, it's hard to do like how it started without including history of the world and with it, and especially with Britain, because they have a vast, obviously, history. And World War I is what they said in the first movie, is that this is where it all came together. So you have to obviously go with that and go with world history on that one. Now, you guys are more of history buffs than me, so like for me, some of the stuff was kind of like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Is that right?
Who's Ferdinand?
But, you know, obviously Ralph Fiennes was amazing at it. Gemma was great as Polly. And then Rhys Ifans, is that how you say it, for Rasputin? I couldn't even tell that it was him.
Yeah.
Until I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, that's Lizard from Spider-Man. Holy crap. So he did it all. He's always awesome in whatever he does. But yeah, it was sad to see the son go. Morton, right? That is
Conrad.
Conrad, I'm sorry. And yeah, Harris Dickinson. That's always just rough when they throw that in there. But
he was right there at the end. He had the information.
And it's just, you're hoping that, you know, Archie and Aaron Taylor Johnson will, if they do another one like this, takes the place of that and is the next badass for Ralph Fiennes to mold and everything. But so yeah, not as good as the first two, which I mean the first two are so awesome. I think partly it's the cast, like you said. Yeah, the Russian fight with Rasputin was pretty close to how the fighting style was, but then they waited till the end to get us an especially good fighting scene. So for me, I give it 4 answers. So not as good as the first two, but still pretty solid, I thought.
Yeah, so I am very much into World War II history, but I'll be perfectly honest, World War I history, I really don't know that much about, considering how much I've just just dove into World War II history over the years and reading and documentaries and things like that. So I recognize, some of the major happenings and things like that. You know, the start of the war. Of course, at the time, just before World War II, was just referred to as the Great War. World War I would have been presumptuous that the second one.
What should call it? Let's call it World War I. Wait, what?
Just called the Great War. But so the history of that war, I think in general, it's not as polarizing as World War II was. Of course, when you take into consideration just the level of you know, mustache man's, I'm not even going to say it, ambition and, you know, the things that happened with the Holocaust. It was completely different. But in any regard, this was a good movie. I agree with Mason Quinn in the answer that it wasn't as fun of an experience for me as the first two Kingsman movies. I like the spy stuff, the save the world stuff, the mix of comedy that we get in those films that we really didn't have here. I mean, obviously this one a little bit heavier with you know, with the mom dying in the beginning and the son having to witness that, and then the father vows to protect the son and he loses the son as well. So you know, a much heavier you know, kind of plot as far as, you know, who we're losing and things like that. As they did explain in the previous Kingsman movie, this is how it started. If I'm being honest, I feel like just saying in the previous Kingsman movie, a lot of very wealthy people lost their sons in the First World War and didn't have any place to, you know, put their inheritance, if you will, and so they started the Kingsman. I feel like that was enough of a backstory. So it's like this movie gives us a backstory, but it wasn't like a heavy hitting enough origin story where I'm like, oh, that's how it started. Because they give us that, okay, now you bought the tailor shop, and maybe they're setting this up for the second one. In the post-credit scene, obviously, it's kind of setting up another Kingsman that's for World War II. Do we know if there's another?
As far as I saw, Matthew Vaughn said he would be in because he would love to continue the story on with those four. Okay. Especially having Ralph Fiennes and then Aaron on missions together, and he wants it to be the first decade of the existence of Kingsman. Okay. So like they haven't gotten all that money yet. They only just have the tailor shop and just that. So
you know. I think if knowing there was another one coming that is going to explain, like, hey, we built a 15-story elevator that goes underground.
That's right.
We have this bunker,
they got to do that.
We acquired this land, and we do this and this and this and this. You know, I think that would have been interesting if that's being left for another movie. Again, I understand that, but this movie alone, don't get me wrong. I mean, it was a good movie. It had a good plot. You know, they threw in some historical accuracy-ish type stuff that was enough to, you know, kind of give it some substance. You know, the dude living on top of the rock, for me, that was a little bit like over the top. You know, it was like we can have a villain and a bad guy without it being crazy like that. But what I will say is I don't want to go too hard because in the previous couple
I was going to say the first two Kingsmen had that
theme is that the bad guys have been
Polly had her own island off of Cambodia, and Samuel L. Jackson had the mountains.
I mean, so look, does it feel, but this one had a little bit more of a realistic feel.
It almost felt out of place.
So it didn't seem like the techie spy type thing. So to have that felt a little bit more out of place here. But answer is right. It does go along with kind of the eccentric, you know, bad guy having this, you know, crazy hideout. But you know, it was a good story. It's it always, you know, it's weird, like having a son, like even if it's something that's completely fictional or anything like that, that subject matter of just losing your son, like it definitely hits you a little bit hard, you know. And so it's weird, you know, like when you watch it, because you know, obviously a lot of fiction going on here, but you kind of inadvertently put yourself in that spot and are like, oh shit, you know. You know, one thing that's kind of interesting about this movie that I will share, that's something another thing I don't really talk about a lot because it's a bit of an awkward thing for me to talk about. I was 20 when 9/11. I was 20 when 9/11 happened, and I think we all know that shortly after there was a large rush of young men who wanted to serve their country. Now, my father served in the Air Force from 1964 to 68, so it was during Vietnam. My father was in Germany, West Berlin, but you know, my father lost friends from high school in Vietnam, some good friends, you know, and it was interesting because my father called me, you know, shortly after 9/11 happened and said, you know what, you know, we've had a lot of real talks over the years, but this was kind of a real talk. He's like, you know, I see a lot of young guys going to their local recruiting offices and signing up, and he's like, you know, as somebody who served, you know, I want you to know that, you know, my son serving his country is something I'd be very proud of. He said, but also on the flip side of that, his country's going to be going to war, and he goes, I want you to know what you're getting into. He's like, I lost friends in Vietnam, and he's like, it's not, you know, it was interesting. My dad, a very patriotic person, and served his country, but he wasn't real encouraging of me being somebody to run to the recruiting office. I didn't end up doing that. You know, it's a weird thing. Like, I think if, you know, if, I know there's a lot of people watching from, you know, overseas and things like that, but like when you grow up in America and you have family that serve, my father, my grandfather, my great uncles, and you don't serve, there's almost like this sense of like ongoing lifelong guilt. You know, being a bigger, I get people that ask me all the time, you know, just being a muscular person, oh, were you in the military? And you're kind of like, no, you know, my dad served, you know, I didn't. It's a weird thing to discuss. I have the utmost respect for people who serve their country, not just in the United States, but all over. But yeah, it was weird. And so that part of this movie kind of was like, man, like that's the talk that, you know, my dad had with me, you know. And in later years, my uncle that served in Korea was very like, and he, you know, doesn't like talking about the war. He's only done it a few times, but he was very like, yeah, it's not glamorous type stuff. Yeah. So, but anyway, it was you know, it was interesting that conversation happened between Orlando and Conrad, because that was like shit. I'm like, my dad called me not long after 9/11 and was like, you know, don't do this. So that was interesting, but you know, overall, a good movie. I liked how they infiltrated the White House and things like that. You know, some of that stuff feels a little bit harder to believe, minus like modern tech. Like, how would you just get? Like, you're not calling somebody, you're not sending them a text. So, I think they took a little bit more liberty. Can we get people in the White House? Can we get people here? Can we get people here? Yeah, we got it covered. The lack of it's incredible when you see like movies like this. Nobody was sending text messages or making calls, so everything had to be letter.
Hey, they had film. They had little film
telegraphs.
Yeah, there was all sorts of ways to do things. But I am actually going to match Mason Quinn's score on this one. 3.75 answers for me. An enjoyable movie, and you know, I'm thinking maybe if I watched it as a standalone, I may have given it a little bit higher score.
I would agree with that.
But given how like wildly entertaining I found the first two movies to be, my bar was set pretty high. This one fell a little bit short for me.
Well, it showed in the box office because they only made 26 million. Their budget was 100, and they made 126.
Yeah, you know, I will say, you know,
but it also opened up against the Matrix and Sing 2. So
but also 2021, a weird time.
Yeah, weird time for movies.
Weird time for movies. Like some people.
Yeah, they only made 38 million in the U.S.
Some people wanted to get back out to theaters. A lot of people weren't comfortable going to theaters yet. You know, how everything was being pushed was different.
Yeah.
So,
but it did stream in the first 4 days in 2.2 million homes because it was, I believe, on HBO right away.
Okay. Yeah. So still an enjoyable movie.
Very much fun. I hope. I mean, as much as I would love to see a continuation of this, I'm hoping for 4 because I got to see Taron and freaking Colin Firth back. So for Appleton Oak, that's Mason Quinn. We'll catch you on the next one, and good night, pals.